What I'm about to show you will fundamentally change how you view the internet. 3 months ago, I stumbled across a Reddit thread that seemed impossible. Users were predicting deaths with uncanny accuracy. Real deaths, real people. But then, someone posted my name. What's going on, investigators? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, and for the past 15 years, I've been diving deep into the internet's darkest mysteries. From unsolved ARGs to digital urban legends, I've seen it all. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for what I discovered 3 months ago. This isn't just another creepy Reddit story. This is something that made me question everything I thought I knew about coincidence, prediction, and the very nature of information itself. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you're going to want to follow this investigation to the end. And ring the notification bell, because this story is still developing in real time. Let's start at the beginning. It was a typical Tuesday night. I was researching content for my next video, deep in the rabbit hole of r/mystery and r unresolved mysteries, when I noticed something odd. A user, let's call them Deathwatch 2024, had posted a simple comment on a 3-week-old thread about unusual coincidences. The comment read, Margaret Thompson, Phoenix, AZ, Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, heart complications. Now, this seemed random, completely out of context, but something made me screenshot it. Maybe it was my investigator instincts, or maybe it was just the oddly specific nature of the prediction. 2 days later, I was scrolling through my Google newsfeed when I saw it. Local Phoenix woman dies from heart attack. Margaret Thompson, 67, passed away Tuesday from unexpected heart complications. I went cold. The date matched perfectly. March 12th, 2024. The cause of death? Heart complications. Even the location, Phoenix, Arizona. I immediately went back to find the comment, but here's where it gets weird. The original post had been deleted. Not just the comment, the entire thread. Like it never existed. But I had my screenshot. This is when I knew I had stumbled onto something big. I spent the next 48 hours doing what I do best, investigating. Using Wayback Machine, cached Google results, and some digital forensics techniques I've picked up over the years, I started hunting for more evidence. What I found was a pattern. Deathwatch 2024 wasn't just making random predictions. They had been active for months across multiple subreddits, always with the same format: name, location, date, cause of death. I cross-referenced 23 of their predictions with obituaries, news reports, and public death records. The results were terrifying. 21 out of 23 predictions were completely accurate. That's a 91% success rate. The 2 misses, the dates were off by exactly 1 day each. But here's what really sent chills down my spine. These weren't predictions about elderly people in hospice care or individuals with known terminal illnesses. These were seemingly random people of all ages, dying from everything from car accidents to sudden medical emergencies. Sarah Chen, 34, Portland. Car accident on I-84, exactly as predicted. Michael Rodriguez, 28, Miami. Drowning incident at South Beach. Eleanor Banks, 71, Denver. Stroke during morning walk. Every single detail matched. As I dug deeper, I realized Death Watch 2024 wasn't working alone. There was an entire network of accounts following similar patterns, all connected through a web of upvotes, comments, and cross-posts. I found accounts like Prophecy Stream, Final Moment, Last Call 2024, and dozens of others. They weren't just predicting deaths, they were documenting them in real time, creating detailed profiles of their subjects. But the most disturbing discovery was what they called the list. Buried in private subreddits and coded messages, I found references to an ongoing compilation of future deaths, organized by date, location, and method. And that's when I made a decision that changed everything. I created a throwaway account and tried to infiltrate their community. What I found inside was beyond anything I could have imagined. These weren't just random internet trolls or elaborate hoaxers. They had access to information that should have been impossible to obtain. Medical records, travel itineraries, personal schedules, data that painted complete pictures of people's final days. The more I realized, this wasn't about supernatural prediction. This was about information warfare on a level I had never seen before. 2 weeks into my investigation, something happened that made this story deeply personal. I was reviewing my findings, preparing notes for this video, when I received a direct message on my main Reddit account. But some mysteries are better left unsolved. Check tomorrow's list. Attached was a link to a private subreddit I had never seen before. Against every instinct screaming at me to stop, I clicked it. There, at the top of a list of 50 names, was my full legal name, my home address, and a date. Exactly 1 week from that day. The cause of death was listed as accidental fall, home residence, evening hours. I'm not ashamed to admit that I panicked. For the first time in 15 years of investigating internet mysteries, I had stumbled into something that felt genuinely dangerous. This wasn't a game or an ARG. Someone or some organization had enough access to real-world information to make terrifyingly accurate death predictions. And now I was on their list. I immediately changed all my passwords, enabled two-factor authentication on everything, and started documenting every detail of my investigation. If something happened to me, I wanted the evidence to survive. Obviously, I'm still here. The date they predicted came and went without incident. But what happened during that week taught me something crucial about how this entire operation works. The key breakthrough came when I realized I was approaching this all wrong. I had been assuming these were predictions, glimpses into some predetermined future, but the evidence pointed to something far more sinister and far more grounded in reality. These weren't predictions. They were plans. Think about it. In our hyper-connected world, how much of our personal information is floating around in databases, leaked data, social media profiles, and digital footprints? Our medical records, our daily routines, our travel plans, our financial stress, our relationship problems. It's all out there. What if someone had access to all of it? What if they could use artificial intelligence and big data analytics to identify people who were statistically likely to die within specific timeframes? What if they could then use that information to encourage those statistical probabilities? I went back through the predicted deaths with this new perspective. Margaret Thompson had been struggling with medical debt and had recently stopped taking her heart medication due to cost. Sarah Chen had been dealing with severe sleep deprivation due to work stress. Michael Rodriguez had been going through a messy divorce and had been drinking heavily. Every single person on their lists had vulnerabilities. Digital vulnerabilities, personal vulnerabilities, situational vulnerabilities that could be identified through data analysis and potentially exploited. The most chilling part, my own prediction became scarily accurate when I realized how exposed my personal information really was. They knew my home layout from real estate records. They knew my evening routine from social media posts. They knew I had been working long hours and was exhausted from my investigation. An accidental fall in my home during evening hours? Given my state of mind and physical exhaustion, it was actually a pretty reasonable statistical prediction. Here's where the story takes another dark turn. As I was preparing this video, I noticed something strange happening to my evidence. Reddit posts were disappearing faster than I could archive them. Entire subreddits were going private. User accounts were being suspended or deleted en masse. But the most telling evidence of a coordinated cover-up came when I tried to publish a preliminary article about my findings on Medium. Within hours, it had been flagged for community guidelines violations and removed. I reached out to journalists at major publications, but every one of them told me the same thing. Their editors weren't interested in conspiracy theories without concrete evidence. Concrete evidence? I had screenshots, archived posts, cross-referenced obituaries, and statistical analysis showing impossible accuracy rates. But apparently, that wasn't enough. That's when I realized the true scope of what we're dealing with. This isn't just about predicting deaths or even causing them. This is about information control on a massive scale. Someone has the power to make digital evidence disappear, to silence investigative reporting, and to discredit anyone who gets too close to the truth. But they made one crucial mistake. They assumed I would be intimidated into silence. The investigation continues. Even as I upload this video, I'm working with digital forensics experts and privacy advocates to build an unshakable case. We're creating distributed backups of evidence, establishing secure communication channels, and building a network of researchers who can't be silenced all at once. But I need your help. If you've encountered similar patterns on Reddit or other platforms, document everything. If you have expertise in data analysis, digital forensics, or investigative journalism, reach out through the secure contact methods in the description. Most importantly, protect your own digital privacy. Review what information you're sharing online. Be aware of how your data might be used against you. And remember, in our connected world, information is power, and power without accountability is dangerous. Subscribe to stay updated on this investigation. Share this video before it gets taken down. And remember, the truth might be buried, but it's never truly gone. Stay safe out there, investigators, and keep digging.